Welcome to the third video in the Unlocking Outreach series. We're going to help you to understand the four intellects in quite some detail. Let's drill down a little and look at the typical talents and attributes of each of the four intellects. Note that not all of these attributes may exist within the person who has a particular intellect. We will start with the strategist. They think what? There are a lot of words here, but it's important that we share this detail. The most important strength to remember about a strategist is their ability to come up with ideas and innovation on demand. We call this on-demand creativity. Yes, we all have ideas, but it's the perpetual fountain of ideas and the quality of their ideas that differentiates the strategist. It's important not to muddle strategists and strategy. It takes a team with all four intellects to develop a sound strategy. Strategists play a key role with their on-demand creativity. Strategists have vision because they have pattern recognition and see patterns that others won't see. They are very visual and think in pictures. The strategist is unbounded by rules. This is both a strength and a weakness. A weakness because they are often oblivious to protocol and don't follow the rules. A strength because they can easily think outside the box. In fact, the strategist won't see a box as their thinking is not constrained at all. The strategist world is a world of creativity. Strategists are strategic in the way they can think many steps ahead, and by doing so, they see and understand potential flaws in any plan. These attributes are invaluable in making sure the team doesn't go down a blind alley. Very often, the strategist can come over as a little bit quirky and unconventional. You can't always predict how they might be on a particular day. A majority of strategists are introverts and like a lot of time on their own to energize and come up with the next wave of new ideas. For that reason, they will often come over as independent and not hugely sociable or people-orientated. The strategist gets great satisfaction and gratification when others understand and accept their ideas, and especially when their ideas become reality. And finally, they are not usually detailed people. However, if the team can't execute a plan to make their ideas reality, they will jump in and start to micromanage. Let's have a look at PDs. If you recall, PD stands for Project Director. Most are introverts and need time on their own, doing solo activities to charge their batteries. If you remember nothing else about PDs, it's that they get things done and they do things right. Most PDs are very strong finishers. They are practical and problem solvers. The logical and analytical mind of the PD means that they will want to draw on methodologies, procedures, and their deep subject knowledge. They will use their knowledge extensively to help solve problems and get things done. They know only too well that a lack of process and a lack of information yields the potential for risk. And of course, risk can lead to failure. PDs want to eliminate risk as they hate to be wrong. They like predictability and are themselves usually very predictable. PDs are the best technical listeners. By that, they are very good at picking up and making sure they understand the detail. Now, Be careful not to move the goalposts with the PD. They will push against and resist changes to plans. Finally, because they have an engineering mindset, they will thrive in deep complexity. However, any sort of ambiguity is not comfortable for a PD. You see, ambiguity can lead to uncertainty, which is risky, and a PD will want to avoid risk. It's the next two intellects, networkers and EQs, that cope well with ambiguity. Now let's look at EQs. If you remember, EQ stands for External Qualifier. EQs are extroverts without exception. Their energy levels increase by being around other people. One thing to remember about an EQ is that they are massively competitive and love to win, whatever they do. They are good at spotting and identifying opportunities, and are usually right. EQs move fast in life. They have one foot pushing down hard on the accelerator and no foot on the brakes. They don't need to slow down. This means that they are very decisive and don't need too many details in order to make decisions. In fact, they are typically not detailed people and don't have an especially high depth of knowledge. EQs are very good at persuading and selling. In fact, the world's best salespeople are EQs. They are natural multitaskers too, which means they seamlessly and efficiently go from one task to another. EQs are the masters of verbal communication. They are often very articulate and speak in powerful sound bites. An EQ will typically have a high tolerance for rejection because they are socially fearless. Other intellects will beat themselves up if they have had the proverbial door slammed in their faces, but not the EQ. They will simply brush themselves down and push on. The EQ is often highly motivated by being paid well for a job well done. They have lots of contacts. The vast majority of these won't be deep relationships, but instead people that may be able to help them succeed one day. Finally, the EQ will take huge risks if the rewards are big enough. The last intellect to consider is the networker. They are very important when it comes to outreach and evangelism, as the best two fundamental words associated with the networker are empathy and trust. Empathy is something found in some EQs, PDs, and strategists, but all networkers have empathy. The networker has a natural ability to build deep, long-lasting, trusted relationships. They naturally and instinctively help others, often before they help themselves. Networkers are strong influencers and bring you over to their way of thinking. But of course, influencing people takes time. After all, Rome wasn't built in a day. They carry influence across organizations, which is especially important where there is a change in direction or a new plan or vision to be communicated. Networkers can make all the difference as to whether or not the workforce gets behind the new plan. Networkers are the best active listeners. You will sense the networker listening and being engaged with you, and that will make you feel good. Most of us will confide in the networker more than any other intellect because we are confident they will hold our trust. Projects will be more likely to succeed by having a networker on the inside, as they will pick up on people issues not identified by other intellects. Networkers are also gifted with understanding non-verbal communication. As much as 93% of communication is nonverbal, and networkers are the masters. They are watching you. They read people like a book. Now, how valuable is that when it comes to outreach? They read political situations really well, although don't like to engage with the politics if they can possibly avoid it. The enthusiasm of a networker is contagious. Finally, it's important to understand that the most valuable asset that the networker has is their network of relationships and friends. The networker will not let you anywhere near their network if they don't trust you. It's valuable to understand the distribution of intellects. The first point worth considering is that intellect is independent of gender, ethnicity, or age. This is based on data collected by OND from around the world since 2003. Strategists make up only 8% of the world's population, so you won't meet many. In fact, as many as half of the world's strategists are hanging out and pretending to be another intellect. Why is this? It's because they are often undervalued and rarely asked for their innovative ideas. 17% of the world are EQs. However, their drive and competitiveness get them noticed, and over half of the world's chief executives are EQs. Networkers make up a slightly larger community of 20%. Sadly, their abilities to build trust and relationships are sometimes overlooked. However, as we will see later, when it comes to outreach and evangelism, you must make the most of your networkers and put them into key roles before deploying any other intellect. Finally, note that 55%, or just over 1 in 2 people that you meet, are PDs. They are the work engine of any team or organization. Underneath each of the 4 intellects is a very important statement about the key strengths of that intellect. For strategists, it's that they have on-demand creativity. The EQ loves to win, whatever they do. Networkers know that success can only be achieved through people. And PDs, well, they get things done and they do things right. If you have not already done so, why not discover your primary intellect? You will find our talent survey in Chapter 6 of the Unlocking Outreach workbook. It's very simple and will take you only 10 minutes or so to complete. The talent survey is designed to give you a good indication of your primary intellect. If you want a complete and detailed method teaming intellect profile, then instructions of how to contact us are also available in the workbook in Chapter 6. Our videos about unlocking outreach and how method teaming is applied give quite some depth, especially when used in tandem with the Unlocking Outreach workbook. But you may be also interested in finding more information from the Method Teaming app and the Method Teaming website. The Pocket Guide app is free to download and is available from the Apple Store and Google Play Store by simply searching for Method Teaming. At methodteaming.com, you will find a broad range of information as well as helpful blogs we have written. You are now ready to move to video number 4, where we explain how to build a strong outreach team.